Howdy do, I am Gamrison and welcome to Bad Habit Artist Bingo. We don't do these too often. Last one we did was the Brat Bingo. Surprisingly, I did not get bingo on that one, to the not surprise of everyone not named Seeker's Remorse. They're a bit of a special group though. That being said, this one's going to be interesting because a lot of the assets and stuff I make are by my own hand. A lot of the thumbnails, everything, it's me. Steam posted this in his Discord and now we're going to jump into it. Ask PNG. So this is referring to when you name PNGs and stuff, and I'm gonna be honest, I can't do that. I'm not knocking people that do that, but I can't do that because I need to know what the name of something is, or it's gonna be like lost into the void that is like my picture stuff forever. So I can't mark that one, but I do get why people do that. When you have enough files in your computer, you just kind of scramble some stuff in there to get it saved sometimes, and it's fine. Thinks using references is cheating. So funny enough, I never thought if other artists used references it was cheating, but for a long time I thought if I used references it was cheating because, like, you've heard it, you know, people like artists just have, you know, a God-given talent and stuff. A lot of it is practice, of course. So for me, I'm like, well, if artists can do it, why can't I do it without references? Obviously there's something wrong with me, so I can't use references either. It's that type of mentality. Obviously though, references are not cheating, as long as of course you're not tracing something and then trying to sell it as your own, especially for money when it's not your own. 1 million works in progress. So no, a lot of what I draw, I have to draw on paper. I've talked about my process. I draw it on paper, then I take a picture on my phone, put that picture on the computer. Matter of fact, you know what? 1 second. I drew Steam's character combined with Boogie Pop, if you know of that. I drew it on paper, then I take a picture of it, put it on my computer, go and paint, line it with the curve tool. Then I go back in Photoshop, black and white everything. Then I start coloring finally, and it's kind of, the lines get kind of fuzzy because like the paper, when you try and black and white it, sometimes it's still there. And then I try and shade it loosely. And then, a new thing I started though is I'll PNG like this one. So I'll go through magic erase tool, everything, so it's like all the lines on top. So if I go and shade and I go over the lines, I can throw that back on top when I'm done shading. So that's my process. Another example, okay, actually this is another example, why not roll into it. When I did the Captain Capstan drawing, which I eventually used for the Queen. I promise English is my 14th language. When I drew the Queen in red for the Sucker for Love parody thing, right? Same thing. I had to draw it on paper, line it in paint. I even did 2 different versions so that I could give her sleeves and then give the jacket, you know, and then it's just like, that's kind of how it works. Black and white it, have the PNG version so I could throw it on top. And then did Steelers version too, for that matter, that particular year. Like, that's how that works. So I can't have a million works in progress because I'm running through too much paper, and I don't hate nature. Here's the original version though, which had the actual like shading and stuff on it. But that's like how that works. So I can't do that. Comes up with ideas, does nothing. I'm gonna say why I actually don't feel like that's the correct one to say for me. I'm gonna say yes anyways because I have a ton of ideas I haven't done yet. I plan on doing them. Forgets to eat, sleep, etc. So no, it's been a long, you can ask Gamma or Lucy. They haven't had to tell me to eat or sleep in a long time. And if they say otherwise, they're liars. But I'm not gonna act like that wasn't an error that existed. It totally doesn't happen today or anymore. Surely. The urge to draw in the most inconvenient times, maybe, but maybe not. So what I do nowadays is I'll draw when Steam streams. He streams at about 1 p.m. my time to about like 3 or 4 p.m. I have a binder full of like paper that I now have of notebooks from college that were never finished being used, and I'll just sketch in there. Maybe I'll just practice the same shape over and over, something like that. So I don't know about that one too much, but it could be because like maybe sometimes I've wanted to draw in the middle of like playing a video game and I'm like, I can't save right now. Hunched over desk like a gremlin. Maybe it's because of doing YouTube and having to be like this, be able to be heard clearly in the mic, posture and stuff. No, I can't do that one. Nothing against people that do that one. I've heard of shrimping, but can't do that one. Forgets own art style. I don't think I have an art style. Like, what I tend to do when I'm drawing stuff is I'll shade it the same way like Sonic Adventure 2 art was shaded on like posters and the game cover art and stuff like that. It's not really my style per se, but that's what I gravitate towards when I do that. So when I don't do that, it's not necessarily trying to forget my own art style. It's more like I'm just trying to be more original. I don't know if that counts, so I'm gonna say no for that one. Since I did the other one, we'll do 50-50. Yeah. Nearly finished his piece, hasn't saved the entire time. I am guilty of this, specifically because when I am coloring stuff and doing stuff in Photoshop, right? If I try and save like the PDF file, it doesn't actually save it proper. I don't know why. Actually, I have an idea why. I just can't say it on camera, legally. But I can't save it until it's finished. So if I start something, I have to continue it until it's done, or else it's not getting saved. So wrong. You know what? You know what? You can have that one. Doesn't name layer. I have to name layers. When I'm coloring stuff like the Steam Boogie Pop or the Captain Capstan, and I'm trying to do like skin, I might color one way, and then clothes I might color another way. So I have to name layers. So when I'm too hard on self, isn't everybody? Everyone's their harshest critic, no matter what. Free space. Yeah, you take one of those. Saves 100 tutorials, uses none. No, because this kind of goes hand in hand with my whole ideal of like references. So I wouldn't use tutorials either, because I'm like, no, people just know how to figure this out in their own minds. I need to figure this out, then that's what it means. So I never really actually, let alone 100 tutorials. Yeah. Backgrounds, don't know them. I'm like 50-50 on this one, because like we just saw with the Captain Capstan one specifically, I'll do backgrounds. I'm not a huge fan of my backgrounds, but I'll do them. They're there. Are they impressive? No. We'll still do it. You know what? I hear you. I hear you right now. We'll still do it. How about that? I got you. I hear you. Where's my pen stylus? Maybe if I had a tablet, this would be more of a concern for me, but not so much at the moment. 100 empty sketchbooks. No, I got, you know what? Matter of fact, hold on one second. So for example, when my old Project Jinx concept from like 2015, let's see what else we got in here. Obviously, prawn, can't show that. There's a pike image that I never finished because I was gonna do a pike animation once. So when I drew Zabel, I sketched them in this book first, actually, before I went to the paper, to the camera and stuff like that. I drew Odaman as Broly for some random reason. Right, okay, so like a lot of the emotes that we have, they started in here. Even this. So when I did the Final Fantasy video, and Lucy was AFK, and I was like, because people were like, oh, what happened to Lucy? I was like, she did a backflip and landed on her hand in a perfect handstand, and was so impressed that she hasn't moved since. Like this is basically the process. I'm showing you like the behind the scenes process of when I do stuff, how I gotta do it. I do it like that, and then I gotta go back, and I gotta line it, and I do a bunch of stuff, and it's fun. Just for proof, this was from college. This was a coding class, a computer science class I did with coding, and we built websites and stuff. So here's some of the coding and stuff I still have for like the basis of how to set up a website. So yeah, 100 empty sketchbooks, not so much. Let's see. Forget to sign, watermark a piece. Depends. What I'll try to do though is I'll try and watermark it so it looks like it's part of the picture though. You've seen artists do that before, where like if they have smoke in the background, maybe in the smoke you can see their name in cursive as part of the smoke that's going up. I'll do that though, and that's pretty fun to do. Stylus pen death grip. No. Zooms in, focuses on detail no one will see. So funny thing, if I just open up one of my emotes that I drew like that, there's a lot of detail that you're not gonna see because it's an emote, right? Like I actually shaded the hat, have some, the Sonic Adventure 2 thing I'm talking about, where I do the one shading color and then do the line on top of that. The hat lines actually low-key kind of glow. On the face, there's actually just the half over here, so the top half looks like it's kind of shaded darker. The face, all this is all shaded even. Even down here, I did the thing where I do the shapes and have the dots on the hoodie, even though you can only see like the hood part of it. I did all that. You're never going to see it in the emote. Same with this version of Capstan, as a matter of fact. I don't know if you noticed when she had the avatar, but also in this version, the freckles. You can't really see them, or even just the detail in the eyes. I'm not really good at eyes. Eyes are, they're not, I don't hate drawing them like I hate drawing hands and feet, but eyes are something I still need to improve on quite a bit. You're not going to see all this whenever I put it like in a thumbnail or in a video. Like you might see it now because now we're like really close, like hello, but here's the sad emote, and again, it's an emote, so you're not going to see half of this detail. But if I zoom in on like the tears that are coming down the side of the face, these are two different colors, and I blend it together. So it starts as a dark blue, it goes into a light blue. There's a Kakashi sad face that I based this emote off of when I did that. I was like, oh, I like what they did with the eyes, so I'm going to do that too. You're not going to tell that. It's an emote. There's no reason to do that. On like a little Twitch chat, especially if you're on mobile, you're not seeing any of this. But it's like detail that no one's going to see that. So, you know what? Yeah. All right, so gets distracted in the middle of a drawing with another idea. Again, as explained earlier, I can't quite do that because if I don't finish one thing at a time, I can't really save it. So I have to finish in like one go. Well, we just talked about this. Hides hands to, I will say, This is not helping the allegations, but just hear me out. These are maybe the best hands I've ever drawn. They're not even that great, but these might be the best hands I've ever drawn. It's funny. So this was the original one I drew before I had to redraw for several reasons. If you notice, Capstan in this one does not have hands. I didn't go back and add hands because I didn't want to draw hands. Frag is the only one I've ever drawn the entirety of, from head to toe. You got everything. The hair. Again, speaking of the detail stuff, you're not going to see all this at a distance anyway, so I don't know why I did that. But yeah, you have everything here. You have hands, and then you even have boots. Thank goodness. Boots are so much more fun to draw than feet. By the way, on a side note. But then when I went back and drew this version, I'm like, okay, she has to have hands this time. She has to have hands this time. So we gave her hands. I think the nails is what helps make them look a little better, because without that, they kind of did look a little jank. So, so we added black nail polish. But, I'm just saying, I do most of the time, Delicious Anatomy doesn't want to give character clothes. I can understand this one, because I'm not good at drawing anatomy. So if I ever did draw something like, man, that's looking really good. Because like some people, that's how they start. They go like base circle layers and stuff, then anatomy layer to figure out what is where, and then you draw the clothes on top of that to figure out what the clothes will look like where, right? I can get this one though, because it's like, if I ever did draw something that looks really good, I'm like, okay, now do I really want to mess this up? The answer is yes, because I'm not, it's like the ones we just had up, I'm not going to not draw clothes on those. That would be kind of weird. Same face syndrome. I don't believe in same face syndrome. Same face syndrome isn't real, so that one can't be right. I'm serious. I'll look at an artist and some people will be like, man, but look at that same face syndrome. I'm like, but look at the art. Look at the rest of it. So this one doesn't exist. Forgot to flip the canvas. I don't actually know what that means, so I guess no. I really don't care if the face looks the same. I don't. There's some artists that definitely use that as a criticism for themselves, of course, and I'm not going to be against supporting you if you're an artist that feels like you do that and you want to improve. Go for it. I just don't think it's an actual criticism that I like to use against people. So let's see. Oh, we came close this time. We almost had one. I made a Sonic OC like years and years and years and years ago, and then like a decade ago I sat down and actually drew them. And I guess this is what kind of wanted to talk about when it comes to like the quote-unquote style. And what I do. So obviously it's a bit of a self-insert, mind you. So like, of course, they're Phoenix because fire, and I like fire. And even the shoes down here, they're inspired by my shoes. The same shoes that I use for like everything that I do. Black, red trim. There you go. Sold me. I put fire, like a fire design on the side of them just to be different this time. But what you'll notice is as we get close, a lot of, here's a color. Here's like a darker color for like the shade. It's this tool over here. It's the brush, but it's like the brush without the hardness tool. And then a more solid line to finish it off. And that's what I'll do. Obviously, this specific pose is based literally off of one of Shadow's poses. I'm not even gonna front. The only time I did something different was when I drew them over here, and I drew them in the same style as the comics. I saw a comic panel, and I was like, okay, let me practice that kind of shading and coloring. And so that's why it looks a bit different over here, especially if I zoom out. That might help a little bit if I zoom out. That's why it looks a little different. This is more the Sonic Adventure 2 style. This is more the comic shading style. So real quick, I'll show you just kind of how I do that if you just have ever been kind of curious, like how exactly that works though. So let's say we have, we'll keep it simple. We'll just make like a nice new layer. We'll just make a circle real quick. We'll use black. Just make a simple circle, okay? A simple and ordinary circle. So under this layer, let's say we wanted to make it blue. It's Sonic while he's spin dashing, okay? So we'll do like this. We'll just quickly, hit it with some of that. So what I would do is I go like over here to blue. Let's say we go down to here, maybe even a little darker, right there. We go to the brush, go to the one that's not hard, and say under that layer, kind of do like this. Kind of a situation, okay? And then what we do is we go back to blue and then do like a light color. Maybe even just sky blue, period. And make it really light, make it a bit smaller of a size. And then, I forgot to make it hard. Never forget to make it hard. And then you kind of just go like that around the thing. It's not perfect, and obviously if I wasn't drawing on mouse and I was drawing, like on pencil and paper, like I usually do, it'd actually look a lot better. But that's, okay, so like here's a PNG of Sonic from Sonic Adventure 2, right? One of his signature poses. So it's not perfect, as you can see. Some parts are darker than others, some parts are lighter than others. They used a nicer shade of blue than I did, but that was the idea. We're just gonna end the video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button. How do you feel as an artist? Do you feel like you have a bunch of bad habits? Comment with those bad habits in the comment section down below. But I don't know which video will be next. We just have to wait and see. So until this time, take care and enjoy pizza responsibly. Thank you for watching.